and welcome to another video blog from home, and today on A Vogel Talks Menopause I'm going to be talking about 5 nighttime menopause symptoms that may be keeping you awake. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. Poor sleep is really common by itself in the menopause. The problem is that falling estrogen gives us a much shallower sleep. So many things that would never have disturbed us in the past, both physical and external as well, can now wake us up much more easily. And very often it takes that much longer to get back to sleep. If you then add in other menopause symptoms that you may be experiencing, then a good night's sleep can be even more elusive. So what I'm going to talk about today is 5 other menopause symptoms that may be impacting on your sleep and what you can do to help yourself. So number 1, guess what? It's probably the number 1 menopause symptom, and that's night sweats. So because you're in a much shallower sleep, if you start to perspire, and very often nighttime sweats are accompanied by palpitations, which can wake you up really suddenly, making everything worse. So you need to get up, you need to maybe change your bedding, change your night clothes. By the time you've done all that, your system is really revved up, and it can be then all the more difficult to get back to sleep. And if this is happening 2 or 3 times a night, then you're really not getting any kind of productive sleep at all. For the night sweats, you can look at the herb sage. Our licensed sage product Menopause can be taken. Remember to drink plenty of water. Dehydration will make everything worse, and if you are really perspiring to the point where your clothes are getting wet, then the amount of moisture your body's losing can be absolutely huge. So it's vital here, if you're getting a lot of night sweats or you're getting them regularly, to drink plenty of plain water during the day, and also have a little shot glass of warm water just before bed, because very often that can help to keep you hydrated during the night. Remember too that eating late at night can put extra pressure on your digestive system, and that in turn can wake you up. It can trigger night sweats as well, as can hunger. So if you're not having a little bedtime snack, sometimes that can make all the difference. But just make sure it's not a sugary one. It needs to be kind of protein, something like maybe yogurt and some nuts or berries can sometimes be a really nice snack about an hour before bed. Number 2 is anxiety. For us, anxiety is number 2 on the top 10 list of symptoms. So it's one that the majority of women will experience at some point. If you're anxious, you know how difficult it is to get off to sleep because your brain is going at full pelt. You're worrying about all these things, your mind's revving up, your nervous system is revving up, and going to sleep very often just doesn't happen. And it's one of these symptoms where you can be tossing and turning all night, and it's a horrible one. I've been there and I know what it's like. Also, what can happen with anxiety is that, as I mentioned before, you can get palpitations during the night, which can wake you up. And a lot of those suffering from anxiety find that they wake up about 4 o'clock in the morning. Their nervous system is in full flow. You sometimes get a very nervous tummy, and that can stop you getting off to sleep for that last few hours too. For this particular one, you can look at our licensed product Dormiasan, which is specifically for sleep. Herbs such as valerian and hops can help you to get off to sleep quicker. They can calm the nervous system, and they can keep you in a deeper sleep for longer. If you find it's your mind that's going all over the place, if it's racing away like a 100-mile-an-hour train at night, then you can look at our night essence. And this is a lovely one because if you wake up during the night and you're starting to feel that anxiety, you can just put several drops on your tongue, and hopefully that will help to get you back off to sleep as well. Number 3 is frequent urination. It's getting up to go to the toilet. You wake up, you're desperate to go to the toilet, and when you go, you only pass a little urine. You then go back to bed. An hour or two later, you're back up again. Very often, this is a classic sign of dehydration. If you haven't drunk enough water during the day, your urine that's being produced during the night will be really acidic, and it will just irritate your bladder, and it will keep doing that all night. So the simplest thing for this one here, plenty of plain water during the day, and again, a little shot glass of warm water before bed. I recommended this for one lady, and she just didn't believe me that it would make any difference. A week or so later, she came back and she couldn't believe the difference. Instead of having to get up 5 or 6 times during the night, she was only having to get up once or twice. And for her, the difference that made to her sleep was really quite amazing. So sometimes it's the little simple things that work the best. Also, try not to have irritating drinks in the evening, because this will just compound the acidic urine problem. So keep caffeine for afternoon at the latest, and especially coffee, try and have that before 12 o'clock. Alcohol and fizzy drinks, unfortunately, can do the same thing. So having that glass of wine as a nightcap can sometimes cause much more disruption to your sleep than what you think it may do. Number 4 is aches and pains. This is a horrible one. If your muscles are aching, if your joints are aching, you can't settle, you can't relax. And if you're in a lot of pain, then again, that can wake you up during the night. And because you're in a shallower sleep, then less pain is going to have more of an impact on you during the night. Look at remedies such as our devil's claw. If it's just small areas that are causing you pain, you can look at arnica gel. Also make sure the water during the day, because dehydration can have a huge impact on joint pain too. Also look at your mattress. Sometimes these things can compound the problem. When was the last time you had a new mattress? New pillows. If you're sleeping badly, if you've got too many pillows or not enough pillows, then that can irritate joint pain even further. So sometimes looking at the practical aspects of having a good night's sleep can make quite a difference as well. Number 5, restless legs. This is really a surprising one that appeared. So many women find they go to bed, they try to get to sleep, and suddenly their legs are dancing all over the place, and it can be really painful. You can get these accompanied by muscle cramps. Main indication of this is low magnesium. So a magnesium supplement, maybe something like 200 milligrams twice a day. Your second one taken with your evening meal can make a huge amount of difference. And magnesium is great for sleep too, because it relaxes the mind and it relaxes our muscles too. So taking that one can have a number of really good benefits for helping with sleep. Dehydration can be another thing. Poor circulation. If you're one of these people that after you've had your evening meal, you just sit and watch the TV all night, then your circulation in the lower legs is going to stagnate, and that can also be a contributory factor to things like restless legs and muscle cramps. So if we're here in the winter at the minute in Scotland, it's really dark, and I certainly don't fancy going out to walk at night time, but you can do simple exercises maybe an hour or two before bed. I've got one of those mini trampolines, and if I feel that my legs are getting a bit stiff, or I can feel my circulation not particularly good, then I'll just do a few minutes bouncing on the trampoline, maybe mid-evening. And sometimes, again, that can be enough just to make a difference whilst you're going to sleep. I hope you found these one useful and helpful. If any of you out there have other symptoms that you have found have kept you awake, and you have also realized really good tips on how to help yourself, we would love to hear from you. So please do share your stories. And until then, I will see you next week for another edition of A. Vogel Talks Menopause.